October 10th, and this is Geeknights. Tonight we will discuss many old and varied Atari games.
Let's do this. So today, at my job, I came to a conclusion that has somewhat disheartened me.
This is not new information. You knew this before. What?
All right. No. I think the difference... I knew the fact that I've discovered today. I knew that it was true. I did not realize the absolute magnitude of the fact or the situation I am in. You see, I have discovered that I am a little bit overqualified for the position I hold at my company, meaning I could train a monkey to do my job, and people who are in the exact same position as me know less about computers than my mom. To make a long story short, I got to do a project, real quick thing, got to do something to some PCs. So a guy at my office who has the same position as me, who apparently knows about this, is supposed to, take me down to the lab, show me what needs to be done, and then I can go off and do it. All right. So it's a terminal emulator, kind of like Telnet, Hyperterminal, and you've got to make a new icon that points to a different IP address. No big deal. So he shows me in excruciating, somewhat incorrect detail how to do this. And the way he shows me is copying the shortcut and renaming it, and then going into the shortcut that he just made, which points to the same place as the one he just made a copy of, changing the settings, saving it, and then running it. To which I said, but won't that change the settings on the program because the shortcuts both point at the same place where the configuration data is that you changed? And his response was, we had a problem with that before. You think that'll solve it? And I about beat my head against a desk.
God.
I could go into great detail exactly why this was dumb, but it's weird how I went from a position where I was basically the head sysadmin of like 300 Linux machines, and I was a co-sysadmin on a whole bunch of critical servers, and I helped manage a data center and a raised floor, to basically doing moron work, yet I get paid more money and have better benefits doing it.
We really need to make a company that goes around to other companies and make sure this kind of stupidity doesn't happen.
I don't know what to think or do.
I don't know either.
This just isn't cool.
I mean, in other professions, if you're a plumber, right? You don't go to other plumbers and say, wow, that guy doesn't know how to plumb. What's he doing plumbing, If you work for a company in which there's a bunch of copy machine repairmen, I can't imagine that one guy actually knows how to repair copiers and the other guys that don't know. All of those guys there know how to repair copiers, and you call for a copier to be repaired, a guy shows up, it's always a different guy, and they always know what the hell they're doing. They do the job. Why is it in the IT industry that we know what the hell we're doing, and most people don't have a clue?
I complained a lot about IBM, but I got to say, most of my complaints were with the company as a whole and the employees I ended up interacting with outside of my own department. Because the people in my department pretty much knew what they were doing and were pretty cool. A lot of them had a lot of skills that really aren't so common anymore. And by and large, they were interesting people. They were interested in the weird stuff I did. And when they asked me a technical question, they not only expected a technical answer, but they took my advice into consideration. Like, if they wanted something Linux, they'd come to me and be like, hey, is this feasible? Or, hey, what do you know about this? And they'd listen. This company's like, Linux? What the fuck? Now, there are smart people at this company. I gave a guy Ubuntu, and he is all about this now. It's just, I don't know what to say. I should just quit and get a better job. I could probably make twice as much money as I make now.
So my job where I don't do anything, and I could also probably be making twice as much money somewhere else. I got an email today. Holy crap.
Did they fire you?
No.
Did they give you work?
No, kind of not really. Well, I've had work. I just haven't been doing it because no one cares if I do it or not. No one pays attention.
I'll trade you. You realize every day for the last 2 weeks I've asked my boss directly and straight up, is there any work for me to do? I'll do something. Give me something to do and I'll do it. You're paying me.
Yeah, I have a few projects to be working on, but they don't have deadlines, and no one pays attention or cares. No one talks to me.
See, everyone acts like they're so busy at my company, but then they offer my services. And not to sound big-headed, but I'm a badass. I can do anything they ask me to do. And they just don't take advantage of me at all. But yet they complain constantly that they're under deadlines and they can't finish anything.
Anyway, the email I got today was concerning a project that I worked on, the most recent work that I actually did. I actually did something, about a month ago.
Alrighty.
And I made this new website, but I didn't do any CSS because they hired some designers or anything. So it's just
That's good. I don't like doing CSS.
It's just crappy ass plain HTML. It looks really bad because it's just a form that's completely unstyled or anything. It's just, form, input / form. And it's a bunch of forms and links, and that's it. So they're like, yeah, we're putting, there's a new server coming this week. We're putting that thing up on it by the end of the week. And it was a CC to me. It was actually to someone else because they were having to set up the server.
What? Does this happen to you where someone will email someone else with a bunch of important stuff that you haven't heard of before, and they CC you, but they don't mention you? So you have the sense of, all right, was I CC'd because they want me to do something?
So I sent an email, and I'm like, you guys know that thing isn't CSS, right? And you know that... I designed this thing basically. I offered to make this thing because I was kind of interested in making it. And they said, okay, go to it. So I did. But I did it without any input from the people who are using it. So I'm like, yeah, and maybe, we should have someone who's actually going to end up using this thing look at it to make sure it's what they want. And I was like, is this server a production server or whatever? They're like, oh, yeah, the new company website's going up Saturday night, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm like, can you maybe keep me in the loop on things, maybe? So now today I started getting kept in the loop on things, and it's just a bunch of useless emails.
Good job.
So it's like they were keeping me out of the loop, and now I'm in it, and it's nothing.
There's really no loop.
I don't know.
Yeah, so
this week I think I'm going to do a little bit of work on that thing and just make my own decisions and say, haha, and
I think I'm going to set up some Hamachi. And then I'm just going to start building a LAMP server and writing stupid web applications to learn
We already
PHP.
have a LAMP server in the other room.
No, I'm going to make my own on this box sitting here. And I'm going to futz with it and break it and
Why
fix it.
don't you just use the one we already got?
Because I plan to break it and fix it over and over again.
I break that one and fix it all the time. Anyway. Yeah.
I'm just going to start doing, like I did at IBM. Whenever I was bored at IBM, I'd build a Linux server and install Samba on it or something.
Yeah, Ubuntu's a good distribution to run LAMP on because it works really nicely.
Not only that, but
the configuration files are organized in an intelligent manner.
There are instructions online. They're like, do this, then this, then this, LAMP.
Apt-get install Apache 2.
Yeah.
Apt-get install MySQL.
Anyway, it's not that day. We don't want to talk about that.
No, we don't. It's game day.
Yeah, but before that, the
game
news.
on.
No, that was lame.
Shut up.
We're not that kind of podcast.
You got game.
First off, we're back from CityCon, like
I'm
we
all
said
the
yesterday.
way live.
We're going to be talking about CityCon tomorrow. Though once again, I'd like to note that Entertainment System is a badass video game metal band.
MySpace.com/entertainment system.
We want to give them mad props because we've seen them in concert twice, and they're doing a huge concert in Penn State?
College, Pennsylvania.
October 28th.
Yep.
We're going to plug it a lot because they're badasses and they deserve recognition.
Indeed.
2, we saw the Video Game Pianist and hung out with him, and he's an awesome dude.
Even though he's really modest. Videogamepenis.com.
Yeah, it sounded like you said Video Game Penis.
I know, that's why I did it that way.
Yeah. All I got to say is that not only is this guy awesome, but he is way more modest than he needs to be. Dude, it is okay for you to say that you were cool.
Yeah, and he was like looking for some ladies. If he wasn't so modest, he could probably get mad ladies.
He probably could anyway. His problem is he plays at video game cons instead of anime cons.
Yeah, there was recently that thing with the hot girl with the violin playing the Halo theme. He should ask her out.
Actually, we suggested to him that he should do some kind of duet concert with her.
Yeah,
because that would be really freaking cool.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, Video Game Pianist. If you guys didn't go to CityCon, you missed out on a real up close and personal concert with this kid.
Because it was basically this giant. It was a convention that was put on as if there was 1,000 people there, and only less than 200 people showed up. So it's like there was this big con, and you were all. It's like being alone in the amusement park, basically.
It was fantastic.
It was awesome.
Citicon could have handled like 1,000 people easily.
Yeah, I mean, they did. The staff worked as if there were 1,000 people there. Yet there weren't. So everything was awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a lot to say about that con. It was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, my news is quick and non-video game related because I saw this on Dig. And again, remember I talked about old news coming back because of Dig and people who aren't hip to the internet? A lot of men, when they turn 18, are noticing that they receive a Gillette Mach 3 razor. And
or whatever Gillette's newest fangled thing
No, they
is.
still send out the Mach 3.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah. So, and one blade. Now, we're not going to talk about this. We've talked about it on the show many times, but
Listen to the shaving episode. It's real old.
Yeah. In fact, Emily's on that episode.
Yeah.
But the Gillette Mach 3 is shite. Shite. It costs more than video games.
It costs more than video games.
It does. God. Gillette is a terrible company and their razors are terrible. But anyway, they send every man in the United States who is a citizen, for the most part,
That they know about.
a razor when they turn 18 or in some places 21, usually 18.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been going on since I was 18.
I got one.
Yeah, this isn't.
I'm 24 now.
Well, I turned 18 before you,
Yeah.
so you turning 18 and getting one is old news.
What?
Dude, I'll bet our friend Colin got one.
Probably.
Scott Johnson probably got one.
Yeah.
That old man, he's like 100.
My dad probably got.
Yeah, the Mach 3 didn't
Even though
exist.
he's like 40 something.
Yeah, the point
50
is,
something. Who knows?
all these people are talking about, like, this is news. How is Gillette finding this information out? Blah, blah, blah. This is the oldest freaking news. This has been going on forever. They get the information from all sorts of places. It's not a big deal. When they send you the razor, use it once, because you might as well, then throw it away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, real news, video games.
Okay, so today was the day of pre-ordering PS3s. Holy crap!
And they all went immediately.
Yep, pretty much every GameStop. I think the official GameStop corporate line is that they have 3,600 stores. Each store had at least 8 PS3s.
8.
Some of them had up to 16.
8.
At most, 2 of them per store could be pre-ordered by the staff, and the rest had to go to actual people.
I point out that one of the first things I read about this was a guy from an EB talking about how 4 of theirs went to the staff, and another guy...
Well, this is the GameStop party line.
Yeah, I know. I'm just pointing out.
EB GameStop is one big company now. However, EB and GameStop are still run sort of separately.
Kind of like YouTube and Google Video.
Kind of like YouTube and Google Video.
But no, I saw another... where the guy was like, yeah, the employees in our store got all of them, and they're all on eBay.
Well, because what'll happen is, the 2 of them officially, if you're at a GameStop, 2 of them officially go to the staff. So those are the guys working in the store.
All right, so if you've got
and
a store...
And the other 6 employees are waiting outside at the front of the line.
If you've got a
as
store
normal people.
with 3 employees...
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. There were like 15 pre-orders for sale on eBay like this morning.
And different stores have different policies on these pre-orders. Some of them say you pre-order, you got one. Some of them say you pre-order, you'll get one as soon as you can. Some of them say you pre-order, that means you have a spot in line. So if you come here on launch day and there's a line, of which there will be, you have your pre-order slip, so you get in the front of the you go behind all the people who showed up before you with pre-order slips, but before the people who don't have pre-order slips. So if the store opens at 8 a.m. and you get there at 8:05 with your pre-order slip, you're SOL because some guy without one is in line ahead of you.
I got to say one thing. I want to keep track of how many of these things go up on eBay as a percentage of the total pre-orders, because that will be one of the biggest tellings as to how popular the PS3 really is.
Yeah. The other thing is, a lot of the news I've heard, it's not 100% real news, is that like 80% of the PS3s are going to EB GameStops, and the rest of and like 20% are going to Best Buy, Circuit Cities, Toys R Us's type places.
I think the real stat here is that 90% are going to eBay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, to say something that I said a whole bunch of times today, it's been my thing today. I mean, I get into little bits, and I've been saying this over and over All right, totally got interrupted, but by a ricer who just drove by in perhaps the stupidest rice car I've ever seen or heard.
Not the stupidest rice car I've ever seen.
It's the stupidest rice car I've ever heard.
Perhaps.
I've never heard a rice car that sounded stupider than that, and I've heard some stupid class packs before. But for what I was about to say before I get interrupted, I would have said the exact same thing to that ricer. All day today, I've been saying, whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude.
And that's what I got to say to the people who are going to stand in line to get the pre-order so that they can then stand in line and possibly get a PlayStation 3 on launch for $600 plus tax plus 2 controllers plus a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say the PS3 is a shit system because it's a pretty powerful thing, but getting one at launch is pretty much a losing proposition no matter how you look at it.
Unless you're real lucky and you score big on eBay.
Yeah,
or something.
Go for it by all means.
Or if you're wicked rich, like if you're loaded, Uncle Moneybags.
Yeah, if you're loaded and you're bored, there's no reason not to get a PS3.
Yeah, it's like a great way to spend your money.
But seriously, buy an Xbox.
Well, there's one interesting
buy a PS3
thing.
2 years from now when it's a lot cheaper and the good games come out.
There's one interesting thing is that a GameStop spokesman said that while the sellout wasn't confirmed until 2 p.m., they said that it was a matter of minutes at most stores, which was a faster sellout rate than the 360. But that might be because there were more 360s, but sellout rate, he's not very specific.
Yeah, well, it also might be that anyone who wants a PS3, and there's probably more than 2 million people who want a PS3, regardless of whether or not they can afford it, they probably knew that they wouldn't get one unless they acted crazily.
Yeah, I think it's just that for the 360, it's sort of just like a general gamer good feelings, you know? And for the Wii, there's some craziness and also some gamer good feelings.
Yeah, I mean,
for the
look,
PS3, it's pretty much either, wow, this is stupid, screw that shit. Because if you're a general gamer, you're not going to have good feelings for the PS3. So it's only crazies. It's mostly PS3 crazy.
Yeah, because pretty much any reasonable person, because I wouldn't mind getting a PS3. I wouldn't mind having one. I mean, if it weren't that much money.
If you came up to the door and said, "Here's a PS3," I'd be like, "Thank you, sir."
And if the PS3, say it were like, $300 or $400, I might. I mean, it would have been on the list of possibilities if I had money lying around.
If I had an HD TV, it'd be higher on the list.
But goddamn,
is right.
All I want is I'm gonna reserve all my judgment until the Wii pre-orders really come, because that's soon.
I printed out this Wii countdown calendar today.
Yeah, well, you already have a Wii pre-order too.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, Geeknights ahead of the game. We got a Wii pre-order a while ago.
At the Nintendo World Store.
Yeah, the most confirmed. We are so guaranteed to get a Wii. It's pretty much like Miyamoto and
then
us.
Not only am I getting a Wii, there's a good chance like Reggie will personally hand me my Wii.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what's going to go down at the Nintendo store?
It's going to be some craziness. Full reports from Geeknights in 40 days.
Yeah, 40 days, eh?
40 days.
40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
But I really can't wait until the Wii pre-orders come out and then the actual launch days, because I'll bet that the PS3 and the Wii will both sell out.
Maybe.
And that means a very different thing to Sony as it does to Nintendo.
It does indeed. All right, anyway.
Things of the day.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
You think I should sit down with a bunch of effects and make a radio kind of, things of the day with a lot of reverb and echo and lasers in the background and shit?
We should do that eventually.
What do you guys think? Is that a good idea or not?
I think it's an awesome idea. It's
I think
much
it's
better than hearing you say things of the day than hearing me go do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yep, we have this dynamic here.
Yeah.
All right, thing of the day here. So I was playing Bionic Commando, as I've been talking about, and I was real good at that game as a kid, and I got better at it. And on the way to Citicon, I beat it and killed Hitler twice in the car.
You can't kill two Hitlers.
You can't kill two Hitlers. I then killed Hitler like 4 more times at the con.
You can't kill 6 Hitlers.
And not only did I find a couple speed runs of Bionic Commando, but I learned a way to beat the game a lot quicker that I didn't realize.
You can't beat Bionic Commando in 10 minutes.
So I'm linking to 2 speed runs. The first speed run is not machine assisted. It's a straight up guy playing the game all the way through American version speed run. And It is pretty much a video of almost exactly how I play Bionic Commando. I mean, I was following along, watching it with my fingers, and it's pretty much straight up how I play the game. Except there's a couple of places where he did things I didn't think to do, and there's a couple of places where he fucks up and I could have done it better.
That's pretty typical.
Yeah, but I mean...
What about the other speed run you got?
All right, the other speed runs of the Japanese version of the game, which is easier and harder.
Oh, yeah, how could it be easier and harder?
Because in one level, like, I see him going, and there's these platforms that weren't there before that make it a shit ton easier.
Are you sure there aren't platforms of death?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right.
But yet, then there's this, like, wall of spikes that comes out of nowhere, and all these extra guys, and there's changes to the game that I don't even know why they bothered, because they took stuff out of the game that has nothing to do with anything.
Who knows?
It's weird. But... all right, that's a fucking speed run. I can't play the game like the second speed run, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
Because I think I'll be able to do that someday.
So, my thing of the day is yet another funny video from College Humor.
This is fucking hilarious.
College Humor's coming up with the funny videos lately. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, I mean, they had that Street Fighter 2 thing we just talked about. And
yeah. So now they've got this rejected Wii games. It says the upcoming Nintendo Wii will use a revolutionary new controller which won't be used for any of the following. And it's basically a video of a bunch of people with a normal remote control that they're pretending is a Wii controller. And they're acting as if they're playing Wii games that don't exist. Like, the first guy is flipping burgers at McDonald's.
It's called $5 an hour.
Yeah, and he acts like he's working at McDonald's.
Now, the video's hilarious. Spoilers, because whatever.
Yeah.
But my favorite one, it's called...
Hot Hands.
No, Hot Hands is good. You remember Hot Hands? It's hard to describe.
It's It's the game where you try to slap the other guy's hands.
The game that no one ever really played so much. It was just kind of like in movies. It was there a lot.
Oh, I played that game.
It's always just like a big kid picking on a little kid.
They got to make Mercy Wii.
Mercy Wii?
They got to make Mercy for the Wii.
Why don't they make like schoolyard games for the Wii and have a million stupid games like that in
Well,
it?
they have Backyard Baseball. I'm sure will eventually come out. That's
Yeah,
a popular
my
series.
favorite one, it's like Nazi something.
Oh,
and
the guy Zig Heils with the Wii controller.
So it's just like you hear all this Hitler stuff, like Hitler giving a speech, and then when the crowd goes Zig Heil, the kid holds the Wii controller like, Zig Heil, Zig Heil! and then it's like, ding, perfect.
Yeah, the other one is the one the guy does harakiri with the...
Yeah, it's like seppuku, and that would be a cool game, kind of.
Yeah, make sure you kill yourself properly with this Wii controller.
If anything, I would make a samurai game where there is a seppuku minigame. Or maybe...
seppuku minigame.
Or if you just lose, you got to commit seppuku, and you can get you get a bunch of points for committing seppuku properly. So at the end of the game,
they should have
dying,
a game where you're Yakuza boss and you chop fingers off.
Let that finger fly.
Let that finger fly.
But imagine this: you're playing this samurai game, and you can just get killed. But the best way to win is get as far as you can, and then instead of dying, you commit seppuku before someone kills you. But you got to do it right, and you get a crazy bonus if you do it properly.
Should we let people in on the "let that finger fly" joke?
All right, I don't remember how to say it in Japanese, but I learned it once because I thought it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, and this is in all old Yakuza manga and Gekiga and Yakuza anime, if you piss off the Yakuza lord, you know in a lot of movies they show like Yakuza guys have fingers missing?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people thought that was just like, oh, Yakuza guys have a finger missing. No, if your finger got cut off, that means that you did something stupid and they punished you.
Usually, in Yakuza movies, it'll be you did something stupid and you would cut off your finger and then offer it to the Yakuza boss like, I'm sorry, here's my finger.
Or sometimes the Yakuza boss turns to you and basically says, let that finger fly, which means, God damn it.
Yep.
So he'd either order you to cut it off, or apparently nowadays, they'll just say it, and they don't actually want you to cut your finger off. It's more of a, wow, you did something stupid.
Yeah. So if you're a Yakuza and you screw up, someone will be like, let that finger fly.
Now, I might be totally wrong here, but from what we've gathered, it seems that the origin of the Yakuza finger thing comes from way back feudal Japan, where, for various reasons, a swordsman's pinky finger would be cut off, thus making him a much less effective swordsman. I'm sure our friend Katsu can tell us whether or not the pinky finger is critical to wielding a sword.
I think it would be, don't you?
I think so. Well, that's why I want to ask Katsu, because, I mean, he kicked that guy's ass at Otakon.
Yeah.
And he's really good at kendo, so I'm sure he knows.
So anyway, funny Wii game video.
Yeah, goddamn.
It's real funny.
You want to watch this.
You know, and in the future, just go to College Humor and watch their videos because they're funny.
Yeah, we're not going to use those as things today anymore unless they're crazy.
Yeah, we'll stick with the ever-popular YouGoog or GoogTube.
I like GooTube.
GooTube?
GooTube.
GooTube.
All right. So today, well, actually, 2 days ago, we were talking about what to do the show on, and we decided, let's just pick any old game and do it, like some old game we both played. And then today, on a whim, I whipped out the Atari 7800 and my giant shoebox full of games.
And the 4 new games we just bought.
Yeah, we bought a bunch of games for the Atari, original cartridges recently at a video game store.
Uh-huh.
So we bought Ice Hockey because I didn't own it, Warlord because my copy didn't work anymore, Yar's Revenge because I never actually played it, and God, that game is stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got all these games, and we started playing, and I thought we'd review a whole bunch of Atari games
and describe some of them and how they work, because a lot of people don't understand a lot of them.
I mean, in a lot of ways, video gaming hasn't come that far.
And in other ways, it's come a million miles.
Yeah, but like there are Atari games that are better, like hands down, objectively better games than a lot of the Super Nintendo games that came out.
The like mountain bike, whatever it's called.
Mountain bike, whatever. God, I'd rather play the Yar's Revenge daily.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ever have to play that fucker again. The other thing I'd like to point out is that Scott's going to make a whole bunch of stink about this, but god damn it, does he suck at Atari
You
games.
suck. What are you telling me?
All right, do we have to list all
That's
the
because
games?
I'm using the Atari 7800 has these shit joysticks that no other game system has had the like of ever. And they're basically the only reason that you can use those things is because you used them when you were a kid and you've been using them for years. Nobody else who's never used them before can manage them. I'm going to go get a Sega Genesis controller, and then you'll see that I don't suck at these games. I just suck with the shitty 7800 controllers.
Yeah, we'll see, because you were making tactical mistakes in a lot of these games, not just moving mistakes.
Whatever.
Like the maze game, you just don't know your way around mazes.
Oh, well, screw that stupid maze game, all right?
It's a sign of intelligence. You just can't follow a maze.
I could. I just kept going on the wrong way because I put stupid joystick.
Wait a minute. I could have followed the maze. I just kept going the wrong way.
No, because the stupid joystick, I would make a right turn, and the guy would keep going straight into the dead end. I had to turn around, then he'd go too far, and I had to turn around
This
again.
is just because you have no manual dexterity.
I have plenty of manual dexterity, just is mostly in my thumbs and not for a shit joystick. I mean, I could use a joystick. If you give me a Street Fighter 2 joystick, I'm all good.
But you keep
but
saying
not that thing.
You keep saying that the Atari 2600's joystick is superior.
It is superior.
I think if you use it again, you'll realize that they're pretty much the same.
Nah, I don't think so. It's not perfect.
Regardless,
It doesn't matter. I'm getting a Genesis controller next time I go to my house.
so the first game we played was a game I hadn't played.
Because if you didn't know, you can use a Genesis controller on an Atari.
Yes, they're the same connector and everything.
Yep.
Even though most of the buttons don't work.
I only need one button.
At 7800 games, you need 2 buttons.
A Genesis controller has 3 buttons.
Yeah. You have to figure out which button is what.
A and B.
All right. So we're going to review a whole bunch of Atari 2600 and 7800 games, starting with, we'll go pretty much in the order we played them, Ice Hockey.
You know, it wasn't so bad. It was from Activision, by the way.
Yeah. This game is not as good as the Nintendo version of Ice Hockey, which I consider to be the best hockey game ever made.
I agree.
But it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, you figure an ice hockey game for the Atari would be kind of crummy, but it really isn't so bad. The only thing that's really bad about it is that you have 2 guys on the ice. You know, one guy is sort of at the top and one guy is sort of at the bottom. And moving the stick moves the guy who is closest to the puck. So if the puck is up at the top of the ice, then the guy on the top you can move, and the guy on the bottom you can't control at all. So, you know, I kept wanting to move the guy at the bottom of the ice closer to the goal, but I couldn't because I could only move the guy at the top, and that was annoying. But other than that, the ice hockey game was pretty good. You know, your guy gets the puck, you skate around, you shoot. It's pretty much all you can do is shoot in a direction.
Yeah, or you can knock the other guy down.
Yeah, you can. You can push the button a whole lot to mess with the other guy when you're on defense.
Yep, Scott ended up beating me, I think, 10-6.
Woo!
It was a pretty stunning victory on Scott's part.
I'm good at them ice hockey games, let me tell you.
Yeah, even though I beat you the last time we played NES ice hockey.
And this is with the shitty 7800 controller, I could still play ice hockey.
Because there wasn't much to this game. It moved real slow, and we were playing on the fast advanced setting.
Yeah.
Now,
it was still pretty fun. Like, I'd play it some more.
Yeah, well, the other thing is, ice hockey is one of the earlier Atari games because the Atari, like every other system, progressed quite a bit as it went on, and older games were not as good as newer
games that came out late in the Atari's life cycle were much more. It's like Mario 3 compared to Mario 1.
Yeah, or like Urban Champions.
Urban Champions compared to
Zelda 2.
Yeah.
Or Star Tropics.
Exactly.
All right, so then we played Warlords, which is pretty much the iconic multiplayer Atari game.
It's a great game. I think it's unique for the Atari, and that is a fast-paced, smooth, paddle-controlled, 4-player directly versus game.
Yeah, straight up 4-player. It's basically 4-player Breakout, where each person in the corner has a castle and a knight that moves around the outside
and
of the
a dragon
castle.
breathes a fireball, and the knights bounce the fireball against each other and try to hit each other's castles. And then if the fireball gets into your castle, you die.
We played 2-player. I beat Scott the first time. He beat me the second time.
I'm actually good at Warlords, and I can use any paddle games I can do.
So then we tried to play with Alex, and we learned that my Atari, which is old as a fucker, the second port can't support the multiplayer paddles anymore. So we can only play 2-player games.
Or maybe we need to flick some switches, or who knows what. But it just didn't work. It was unhappy.
Yeah, game has issues.
Mm.
Warlord is a good game, though. I mean, it has issues just for the fact that it's an old Atari game, but that is one of the earliest 4-player games that wasn't just ass.
Yeah, if you want to play a new good version of Warlords, I don't want to recommend this game, but the Retro Atari compilation for the DS, it's not really that great. It's more like some guy practiced DS coding by implementing a bunch of Atari
Don't
games.
buy it unless you see it for $5 or less.
Yeah, I spent like 10 on it, I think. But yeah, it has Warlords, so you can try Warlords out with that, and it's an okay version of Warlords.
So then we played Slot Racer, which is a game I used to love as a kid, even though it's real hard.
It's real hard and complicated and obtuse.
Yeah, once you figure out what's going on. See, Slot Racer is a game where you have these vehicles that move around, and the controls are intuitive, but they're not obvious. Like, once you figure it out, you're like, oh! And then you have a lot of control over the game. And it's really just a game of being able to... I mean, Atari games are simple. They're blocks. It's usually blocks moving around. The controls are real simple. You got one button and an 8-way joystick. So the skills involved tend to come down to straight up eye-hand coordination, pattern recognition, movement prediction.
Better joysticks.
So in terms of this game, the game is basically trying to predict where the other person will go and creating a path for your projectile that will hit him while avoiding his projectile. And you basically program... It sounds like a lot. A lot of Atari games were really complex, even though you had such simple controls. You're driving around controlling your vehicle. Simultaneously, you shoot projectiles and effectively program them with simple logic to move around, and you try to get them to hit the opponent. Scott couldn't play the game at all. I beat him handily a bunch of times, but...
Well, I had never played the game before.
I was going to say, I can't blame you, because the game is real difficult to be good at.
It's really... I couldn't see many people liking this game.
I love that game. Me, my brother, my dad, and all my friends played it constantly, and I'm real good at it, and so were all of them.
I think if you tried to make a game like that today, people would be like, fuck this shit, and throw it out.
You kids have no patience for actual difficult games.
It's not worth it, because it's not that fun, even once you're good at it.
All right, so then we played Maze Craze, which is actually one of my favorite Atari games. It has a lot of different kinds of levels, and basically, you got a blue guy and a red guy. It's 2-player always. And a maze. And whoever gets to the end of the maze first wins. And Scott couldn't deal with the fact that it would be like, 1, 2, 3, go! The maze appears, and I immediately am running directly for the exit as fast as possible.
I think you memorized all the mazes.
But they're actually random, Scott.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
No, they really are.
My main problem is that, I would start off, pick a direction and go for it, and then I would look to see if I was going the right way.
That's what I did, but you always went the wrong way.
Well, and then the other problem was that I would, I'd be like, turn left, and my guy would go straight a little bit too far. Then I have to turn around, I go too far. It was really hard to...
I don't know why you have so much
precise with the joystick.
I don't know why you have so much trouble with this joystick. I find it to be incredibly precise. The thing is, it's not a joystick, and don't treat it as such. Treat it as a D-pad with a stick coming out of it.
That's no good.
Because I don't move it like a joystick. I tap it left and right and up and down.
I can't do that. If it's a joystick, I gotta hold it in one. I gotta hold it.
Now, I got Maze Craze is a game that it was probably my favorite game as a kid. I played it constantly with my brother. It was like a battle of wits because it's not just a maze. I mean, you can play where part of the maze is invisible, all of the maze is invisible. You can play one version where while you're running, you can hit the button and create a secret door where it looks like there's no path, but there is a path to confuse the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some modes where you have to collect 3 things that are moving around and then escape. There are modes where there are things moving around that kill you, so you have to get out without being killed. The game is really, really good and really, really taxing on the brain.
Yeah.
Scott's brain was a little overtaxed.
No, not really.
I beat him like 10 times, then he just turned the game
That
off.
wasn't my brain that was overtaxed. It was my hand.
Yeah, your manual dexterity. Though there were a couple times you just went the wrong way. And then, because you were going fine and you had this, you thought you were going to win. And then you stopped. You said, shit. And you were in a dead end all by yourself.
Yeah. It was no good.
It's a good game, though. I like it a lot.
I would do better at it if they showed you the maze and then they counted down from 5 and then you went instead of you go as soon as the maze appears.
Yeah, well, it's a different kind of game.
Yeah.
It's more of a quick reactions game than a...
I just want to look at the maze for even 1 second before I have to start moving.
See, well, here's the thing. If you wait and look, then if I go the wrong way automatically, then you win, as long as you
But
don't
then if
fuck
you
up.
went the right way, I'm screwed. The only way to do it is to do it the way you do it, where you go the right way right away.
The game is a game of how quickly can you parse a very simple maze. Well, it's not that simple, actually.
They're pretty complex. You can even make them even more complex in the higher levels.
Yeah, the one trick is that it's like all mazes. There tends to be a direction you want to go in, and you can kind of get a feel for it. But it's definitely a game of how quickly can you parse a pattern and then implement it.
The thing is, I don't even try to parse the maze because I have to start moving right away.
See,
and
I parse the
can't
maze.
parse and move at the same time.
And I'll often go the wrong way when Scott's real close to me on purpose and then immediately duck out because he'll follow me and then run off into the dead end.
It's because I can't control my guy.
Yeah, it's also just it's a good game.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we played some 7800 games, which is the next iteration of the Atari because the 7800 was backward compatible.
Yeah, you got the Atari 7800 is a system that can play Atari 2600 games, but it can also play Atari 7800 games, which are almost as good as Nintendo games.
In fact,
they're almost as good as low-end Nintendo
Atari
games.
7800 games have the capability to be on par, almost straight up, with non-MMC, meaning early NES games.
Yeah, Donkey Kong for the Atari 7800 is basically 90% identical to Donkey Kong for the NES.
Yep. And we played Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong for the NES is still better, but...
I kicked Scott's ass.
Come on, I don't know what the hell was going on there, but I'm usually the master of Donkey Kong. Well, not the grandmaster, but I can usually beat I can get Donkey Kong dead a few times before it's game over, right?
Now, I'd give you the controller thing, because you have trouble with the controller. I respect that. It's not that big a deal. But you made serious tactical errors.
But the thing is, you played level 1, and I watched you, and I was like, yep, that's exactly what I do. And I was watching it, and that was how my brain processed the level of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, but then
And then I did it, and these barrels coming at me from other places. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you went up ladders that is dangerous to go up, and then the barrel would come down and get you.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. It was no good.
Yeah, so I played through it for a while. Though I didn't make it past the second level because I did the Rama Sharma. I tried to do too much with it.
You tried to do too much with it.
I tried to get that stupid purse, and that was the end of it.
You never go for the stupid person level in Dash 2. It's always stupid to go for that. You just go kill Donkey Kong and get your points.
So then we played Donkey Kong Jr.,
which is a game that I played in the arcade maybe 2 times ever.
Yeah.
And all I remember is the one where Donkey Kong Jr. tries to save Donkey Kong from Mario, and he goes on vines.
Yep, it's actually a really good game. I mean, I'd say it's on par with Donkey Kong.
Nah, not really.
I think it is.
No, well, it's better than Donkey Kong 3.
God.
Yeah.
But I kicked Scott. I'm not going to keep hammering this, but Scott was he watched me play, and I bust through the game like crazy. And I saved Donkey Kong a bunch of times. I finally die. And I even did crazy stunts, I jumped on things you can't jump onto and glitched the game to get even further. And then Scott starts and he dies like immediately. Like he climbs up the first vine and then he falls to his death. And then he climbs up the first line to the exact same spot and falls to his death in the exact same way.
It wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't.
It's not a good game.
It's a pretty good game.
No, not really.
You're just knocking it because you're not good at it.
No, it's really just not a good game.
Well, when I was a kid, actually, I sucked ass at that game and I hated it. Now that I'm a better gamer and I'm older, I like it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
God, after that, we play. Oh, we can skip some of these games.
Yeah, just talk about whichever games, you bring up the game and I'll talk about it.
All right, of course, Outlaw.
Outlaw is actually one of my favorite Atari games. You got to understand the awesomeness of this game.
It's two stick figure cowboys shooting at each other with pixel guns.
Yeehaw!
Like a cactus in the middle or stagecoaches going by. And the game is so simple. It is straight up just a competition of bluffing, and it's really just bluffing once everyone's good at it. Bluffing and eye-hand coordination and calculating angles.
Yeah, I mean, you can really only shoot bullets at 45-degree angles or 0-degree angles. And you got a cowboy on the left and a cowboy on the right, and one guy shoots to the right and the other guy shoots to the left. And in between, you can choose to either have a cactus, which is invincible. You can choose to have a stagecoach.
Well, no. You can have a cactus that's invincible with unlimited ammo, a cactus that's invincible with limited ammo, a cactus that's not invincible with unlimited ammo. Every variation has limited and unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
Stagecoach that's invincible, that isn't, that's moving and invincible, that's moving and not invincible. A wall that's moving, and invincible.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different combinations in case you get bored of the invincible cactus mode. But
now, of course,
you get the bouncing bullets, the non-bouncing bullets. It's all good.
I beat Scott every time.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
I beat you many times. We had infinite ammo. I beat you.
You beat me once. You beat me
I
once.
beat you a couple times.
No, you killed me a couple times.
I think I beat you twice.
No, you beat me once.
I've ever beaten you twice in one of those stagecoaches. I think I beat you on the bouncing cactus.
You beat me on the second round we played, which was unlimited ammo bouncing cactus.
Whatever.
And you beat me pretty thoroughly there, but I beat you everywhere else.
It doesn't matter. I'm good at Outlaw.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
All right. Combat. Combat is a great game.
It's the same thing as Outlaw almost, only with little tanks.
Little tanks and airplanes, and you move around, and it has modes like you can only beat the guy if you hit him with a reflected shot and stuff like that. My favorite mode is invisible mode, where it's just a blank screen. There's two tanks, and you're both invisible. And when you shoot, you appear for a second. And I got to admit, it was funny because we're both invisible, and Scott's like, how am I supposed to do this? And I shot him.
Because I used to be able to do invisible tank when I was a kid, but now I can't freaking do that
and he
at
says,
all.
where the fuck, how'd you? And I shot him again, and I shot him again, and I shot him again.
When I was invisible, you shot me.
Yeah, like Scott to be invisible.
I don't even know where I am, but somehow he's shooting me.
See, I had an Atari, and I played it a lot. In fact, I played my Atari.
See, I had an Atari, but when I was 3, it broke, so I only really played Pac-Man a bunch of times and Breakout, and then that was it.
Even after I got a Super Nintendo, I played my Atari regularly.
Yeah, our Atari was gone by then, so I didn't play it that long, and I played all those games, but mostly at other people's houses and in the arcade and stuff like that.
All right, Crystal Castle sucks ass.
It was kind of sucky.
Granted, I'm good at it.
It wasn't the worst thing ever, though.
Well, as a kid, the game scared the hell out of me because there was all these monsters, and they were all kind of scary, and they'd come after you.
They were pretty scary.
And the game is just kind of hard and scary.
But you're a teddy bear.
Yeah, you're a teddy bear, and these like giant skeletons are coming to kill you.
The skeleton was awesome, though.
He was. You didn't get to see the ghost.
Oh, man. I want to see the ghost.
Yeah, like bees come and sting you to death.
It's sort of like Q*bert in a way, in that you're trying to touch the whole board without getting killed by monsters.
It's like a cross between Q*bert and Pac-Man.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of weird.
And there's also honey. And hats.
Yeah, magic hats.
Magic hats.
All right, now, the next game we played, Scott can't blame the controller. Because
I'm actually really good at this game.
Plus, it's Pitfall, all right?
Fucking Pitfall.
No matter what controls you're using, unless your controller is physically broken, the skill of Pitfall is purely the skill of playing Pitfall.
It's just right, left, and pushing a button.
Now, Scott talked a big game.
And I came out with a big game.
Scott talked a big game.
And I did real good. I got 2 freaking treasures, man.
I got 3, passed a 4th one, and could have kept going, but killed myself on purpose.
Yeah. That's only because you went second. If you would have you didn't, then you turned the game off. And if I had another try, I would have gotten 5 treasures.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat Pitfall. You watch.
I just like to point out that Scott talked a really big game. I mean, I can't make fun of him for losing at like Kaboom because I'm Tommy at Kaboom.
I did pretty good at Kaboom for not being Tommy.
Yeah, you did really good, but well.
Because that's a paddle game. I can play that.
But I can't make fun of you for the other games, but you talked a big fucking game for Pitfall.
And I came out with a big game, but it was the first try in how many years? You did only let me try it once. One try, that was pretty good.
It had been equally many years for me. And
you got to watch me play first. You got to see which boards were where.
It didn't matter. It's the same every time. I have that game practically memorized.
See, that's not fair because I don't have it memorized. I just memorized how to do each kind of board.
But it's the same game everywhere.
No, I didn't memorize Pitfall.
I memorized it in terms of I know where all the treasures are.
I don't know where the treasures are. I just keep going and trying to get until I get them all.
Yeah, you talk a big game and then you don't
do have
deliver.
a big game at Pitfall. I'm great at it.
You didn't even break 10,000.
That's because it was the first time I played it in years.
It's the first time I played it in years.
But you knew the game still.
So why would you talk a big game if I know the game and I'm good at it and you're not good at it?
Because I am good at it.
But you sucked at it.
I just don't have it memorized, and I did really well.
Not really.
Yeah, really.
Getting 3 treasures is nothing.
I got 3 treasures.
It's nothing.
Yeah, next time I'll beat it. You watch.
You'll see.
I could beat Pitfall.
I'm just ragging on Scott because he's good. I mean, he's really good at video games, just not at Atari games.
I'm good at Atari games. I just can't use a stupid controller, and I can't freaking be expected to be amazing and kicking ass at a game that I haven't played that much in my life that I'm kind of good at in one try, the first try in years.
All right, fine. I'll give you all that, but you have to admit that I'm better than you at Atari games.
You're only better than me at certain games in the Atari 7800 because you played them for years of your life.
Okay, wait.
You can actually use that controller.
But I suck at Mega Man 2, and the only reason you're good at it is because you played it a whole bunch.
No, even if you played Mega Man 2 a whole bunch, you wouldn't be as good as I am.
I probably would.
No.
All right, fine. Let's see. Who will win first? You beat Bionic Commando or I beat Mega Man 2? Does that have to be the competition?
Mega Man 2 is an easier game.
Bionic Commando is really easy.
I don't know. I never really tried to get past the first level.
Yeah, you can borrow that Capcom mini mix I bought.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I never actually tried to beat Bionic Commando at all. I kind of played it for a few minutes and then be like, eh.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so Yar's Revenge is just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Yar's Revenge because a lot of people really dig it, and a lot of Atari guys are like, yeah, Yar's Revenge is like the awesome, amazing Atari thing.
It's, to quote Movies You Should See, because I listened to like 10 of their episodes in the last week, and one, they're really cool. They're a good podcast about movies, little plug here. But they're British, and they use Britishisms, and they always say, like, when something's shitty, like Americans say, oh, that's shitty. They always say, well, it's a bit shit. It's a bit shit. And it's grown on me. I like saying that. It's a bit shit. This game's a bit shit. See, because they were making fun of American accents one day, and I love hearing non-Americans do American accents. So it's
I also love hearing non-Americans do American accents.
So I hope you all enjoy hearing your accents done poorly. Even though, like, I know we have a lot of Australian listeners, and I can't do anything else.
Mate.
Crikey.
Good day.
Get on.
Foster's.
Okay. I'm sorry to Australia. You guys are awesome. In fact, I was talking to my grandpa today because he loves Australia and he spent like a month there. But I digress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to talk about any more Atari games because I don't want to go long on an episode where we're just laughing at Scott about Atari games.
What the hell? We're laughing at Rim because he played too many shitty Atari games.
These games are awesome.
No, only some of them are awesome. Most of them are shit. They're a bit shit.
A bit shit.
A bit.
It's a bit.
A bit shit. You can be a bit shit times 10.
That was lame.
Whatever.
All right, I think we're descending into silliness. I'll end this by saying that if you can find an emulator and you're in any way a video game fan, it behooves you to play all of the Atari games you can find. I mean, don't play them a lot. Don't get good at it.
Yeah,
but
just at least turn each ROM on and try to play it for a little bit, and then, some of them will actually be fun. Keep playing those, like Pitfall. And some of them won't be fun, like the shitty version of Pac-Man for the 2600.
God.
Don't play those.
That was like the worst game ever made.
Yeah, just don't play those.
I mean, video games have come a long way, but a lot of modern video games seem to miss the point that the point of a video game is that it's fun. And there are games that don't look fun, and even the people who are fans of the games, when they play them, they don't look like they're having fun.
Yeah, it's like they're playing them like it's a chore, or they're playing it to like unlock a story bit or something.
Plus, I mean, you'll see games that, the game is a bit shit, but you'll play it, and then you'll play a modern game and realize that the modern game is essentially the same game that was on the Atari, just polished a little bit.
Yeah, someone should make a freaking modern Yar's Revenge, then it wouldn't suck.
Someone should remake every Atari game modern.
And they've done it quite a bit.
In Flash. With good straight up ports, just with good graphics. Like Xbox 360 graphics, but it's just like Yar's Revenge. The exact same game with the same controls.
It's been done many times.
Yeah. All right, so we'll leave you with that. And tomorrow we will have our coverage of Citicon 2006. I hope there will be a Citicon 2007. And that was Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for our opening theme.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com. If you like our podcasts, you'll love our forums. Make sure you visit them. You can send your email feedback to geeknights@gmail.com. And if you want, you can leave us a voicemail at 206-333-1537.
Geeknights airs every weeknight, Monday through Thursday.
Geeknights is recorded with absolutely no studio and no audience. But unlike those other talk shows, it's actually recorded at night.